Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Gio for footballbook.ca. These are my week 10 picks of the 2011 NFL season. I'm on a bit of a roll right now. I'm 7-1 against the spread in the last 2 weeks, including going 4-0 last week, so let's keep it going. The first game we're going to look at is Detroit at Chicago, where the Bears are 2.5-point favorites at home. Detroit's already beaten Chicago once this year. It was the Monday Night Football game in Week 5. In that game, Javid Best, the running back for Detroit, ran for a career-high 163 yards, including an 88-yard touchdown run. Well, he's not playing this game at all. And since that meeting, the Lions have only won one game. Now, that was against an undermanned Denver team, while the Bears have gone 3-0. Let's take the Bears to win this one and cover. We'll go Chicago -2.5. Game number 2 has Buffalo going to Dallas, where the Cowboys are 5.5-point favorites. Buffalo lost last week and Dallas won last week. Well, you know what? You're never as bad as your last loss. You're never as good as your last win. The Bills lost to a very good Jets team, and the Cowboys beat a very bad Seattle team. Buffalo usually rebounds. They're actually 4-1 against the spread after a loss, and Dallas is only has a 1-8 mark against the spread as a favorite of between 3.5 to 10 points. And apart from their last couple of games, Dallas was always playing games which were very close, 4 points or less. I see that happening. I actually see Buffalo winning in an upset here. So let's take Buffalo +5.5. Our third game has Pittsburgh going to Cincinnati, where the Steelers are 3-point favorites on the road. I don't normally like backing a team that lost at home and are favored on the road, especially against a division rival, but I'm going to make an exception here. The Steelers are 8-1 against the spread versus Cincinnati, and they're 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 meetings. I think what happened last week against Baltimore was a payback. Pittsburgh had been dominating Baltimore for a long time, and Baltimore finally fought back and pulled it out at the last second. And believe me, nobody lost more money than me on that game. What this is for Pittsburgh is a must-win game. If they don't win this game, they're going to fall too far behind in the AFC North. And Cincinnati's been a nice story so far with Andy Dalton, but I think they're pretenders in this division, at least at this point. What Pittsburgh will do is they're going to separate the wheat from the tares, as it says in my Bible, and I think they're going to go biblical on Cincinnati. Let's take the Steelers -3. And our fourth game we're going to look at is the Monday Nighter, as my Minnesota Vikings go to Lambeau Field to take on the undefeated Green Bay Packers, who are 13.5-point favorites. My, that's a large number, don't you think? These two teams always play each other tough, especially in Lambeau Field, where the Vikings are 8-3 against the spread. The road team actually is 13-6 against the spread in this series, and the dog is 18-7 in the last 25 games. There's only been one real blowout in memory in Lambeau Field between these two teams, and that was a game in 2007, 1 week after Adrian Peterson had broken the rookie rushing record of 295 yards. He had to leave that game in Lambeau, and I believe the Vikings were down to their second or third string quarterback. That's simply too many points. I'm actually going to call Minnesota to win this game, and if they don't, well, you know what? You can still take them +13.5. Here are my 4 over-under plays. I was 3-1 last week. If not for the brilliance of that great quarterback, Tim Tebow, I would have been perfect. No, well, 3-1 is not so bad. The first game we're going to look at is Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Jacksonville has gone under 7 of their 8 games so far this year. This is a game where the 32nd offense and the 30th offense are playing. I don't see very many points. Let's take under 38. Game number 2 has Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. We talked about that one earlier. The number's 41.5. I've been going with the trend that Pittsburgh goes over, blah, blah, blah. This week they're scheduled to go under. So that's what we'll do. We'll take under 41.5. Game number 3 is Washington at Miami. That number's 37.5. 6 of 7 of Washington's last games have gone under, and I think Miami's got 7 straight under games. Let's take the under 37.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at, Buffalo at Dallas, another game we talked about. That number's 48. I see a lot of points being scored in this game, especially defensive points. It has that feel to it. The 2 games that Buffalo has gone over the number have both been against NFC East teams, which Dallas is. Let's take over 48. Here are my straight-up plays for this week. There's a Thursday night game as Oakland goes to San Diego. Let's take the Chargers in that game. And then on Sunday, the Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati. I already told you I like Pittsburgh to win there. Denver's at Kansas City. This will be back-to-back division games on the road for the great Tim Tebow. I don't think if even God's quarterback can do that. Let's take Kansas City there. Jacksonville's at Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis will remain perfect, and Jacksonville will win this game. Buffalo's at Dallas. I'm calling that one as an upset. Houston is at Tampa Bay. I guess that's the second non-conference game in a row. I like Houston here. Tampa Bay's lost McCoy on the defensive line. I don't think they'll be able to stop Arian Foster running the ball. Let's take Houston. Tennessee's at Carolina. Tennessee is just a garbage team. Carolina's coming off of a bye. Maybe they can figure out how to stop something on their defense. Let's take Carolina in that game. Washington's at Miami. We'll take the Dolphins to win their second in a row, even though they're terrible at home. Just Washington's got nothing this year. New Orleans is at Atlanta. This is a tough one. You know, the Saints have been beating Atlanta in Atlanta recently, but I think Atlanta will win this game. They figured out that they're a running team, giving Turner the ball a lot. I think they'll squeak one out. Let's take the Falcons here. Detroit's at Chicago. I like Chicago to win straight up very easily in that game. St. Louis is at Cleveland. Wow, this is a real toss-up, isn't it? As in, you're going to toss up your lunch if you watch this one. You know what? Let's take St. Louis here. Arizona's at Philadelphia. I think the Eagles will bounce back from that pretty bad loss against the Bears. So take Philadelphia. Baltimore's at Seattle. Baltimore better, watch out for a bit of a letdown, but Seattle's quarterback is hurt. Let's take the Ravens here. The Giants are at San Francisco. This is going to be an excellent game. I just don't know if the Giants can win back-to-back on the road against playoff-bound teams. Let's take San Francisco here. New England is at the New York Jets. New England's spiraling down. You're seeing the beginning of New England as no longer a powerhouse. The Emperor has no clothes with that team. They're a very one-dimensional team. It's Brady to Welker, and that's about it. They can't stop the pass. They can't put pressure on the quarterback. I think they surprised the Jets with a decent running game last week, but I think Rex Ryan will figure that one out rather easily, and the Jets will hand the Patriots their third loss in a row. And then we've got the Monday Nighter, where Minnesota goes to Green Bay, and I'm predicting my Vikings to do it. We'll call for the upset. Let's go for Minnesota in that game. Okay, so those are my picks for Week 10 of the NFL season. Now, I want to point out that, last week there were a lot of upsets, and that meant that the public lost a lot of money because they tend to bet the favorites. But if you like playing money line plays, I want you to check out my buddy Devin's site. I'll leave a link right up here. He's really good at those kind of money line plays and the parlay plays, and we all like to play those, especially the parlays. So check out his site. And if you make a video like this, feel free to embed it into mine. What you do is you just click on the comments bubble below, and then to the right, a little thing will show up to embed a video, and it's really easy. Go ahead and do that. And I love hosting your videos on my site, footballbook.ca, so check it out there as well. All right, for footballbook.ca, I'm Gio. Let's take the man's money.